Hello everybody, I'm Rusty Peace and this is the Railsplitter Athletics Report. Well, we are officially halfway through the month of November and the Thanksgiving holiday weekend is quickly closing in on the LMU athletic teams. Of course, during that period of time, most LMU athletes will scatter to the four winds, but for that few select group of athletes, men and women's basketball, and of course, hopefully the volleyball team, they'll still be in action. Usually this time of year, the LMU soccer teams are still in action, but this year was not the case. And we've got a lot to talk about tonight. Helly O'Dana will be our guest again this evening on the show. Last week we talked men's soccer. This week we're going to talk women's soccer as the Lady Railsplitters completed the year a couple of weeks ago, but now the recruiting season starts, and Coach Dana is hot on the trail of next year's new signees for the LMU women's soccer program. Also, we're going to be talking about the past week in LMU athletics, what's to come in the week ahead, and we've got a lot to talk about it when you talk about all that stuff going on here at Lincoln Memorial. Stay with us here on the Railsplitter Athletics Report.
SIGMON Communications is your local radio and television stations bringing your local information, local news, and the best music from yesterday and today. SIGMON Communications was established in 1987 on the campus of Lincoln Memorial University. Since then, we have been involved in community events and other projects. SIGMON Communications is not only your local radio and television stations, but we are a learning facility aimed at educating students in the field of broadcast communications. SIGMON Communications, not just the great building with satellites that sits on the hill.
We're now MediaStream, bringing home to you more and more improvements. As your hometown team, we're dedicated to bringing our friends and neighbors more service upgrades than ever before. Always available 24/7 customer service and technical support. 30-day money-back guarantee on services. Improved bundles that will save you money. Get ready to do more of the things you love with the people you love and with savings you'll love. Call 1-800-392-2662 for details. MediaStream, bringing it home to you.
Bringing it home to you.
Since 1973, DeRoyal has been a leader and an innovator in manufacturing products for the healthcare industry. DeRoyal supplies more than 20,000 products and product lines such as acute care, orthopedics, wound care, and trauma. DeRoyal is proud to be the largest supplier of orthopedic soft goods to clinics and hospitals in the nation. Since its start in Tazewell, Tennessee, DeRoyal has grown to open factories in over 29 locations worldwide and employs over 2,000 people. DeRoyal, a name you can trust and an employer you can count on.
Looking for efficient, compassionate, and comprehensive health care for you and your family? Visit the University Medical Clinic. All providers are faculty members of LMU's DeBusk College of Osteopathic Medicine and are board certified in their specialty. Multiple specialties available including family medicine, internal medicine, OBGYN, and osteopathic manipulative medicine. With locations in Harrogate and New Tazewell and most insurance plans accepted, the University Medical Clinic is here to serve you. Call 423-869-7193 for an appointment. University Medical Clinic.
Welcome back to the show. Let's kick things off this evening with volleyball. On Friday evening, the Lady Railsplitters played host to league-leading Wingate University in one of two remaining regular season matches. The Bulldogs entered Friday's match with LMU having lost only twice this season in conference play and riding a 15-match win streak that dated back in September to September 25th on their win over Brevard College. The LMU women are trying to bounce back from an emotional 3-2 loss to arch-rival Carson Newman College last Tuesday night and looking to secure the 3 spot in the upcoming SAC tournament. In the opening set, everything seemed to go the Lady Railsplitters' way as the LMU women notched a 25-21 win and never trailed in the set. In set 2, again, LMU carried the attack to the Bulldogs and this time carved out a 25-19 victory to put the Dogs on their heels and to take a commanding 2-0 lead at the intermission. That's when the sleeping giant awoke. After falling in the opening sets 1 and 2 to the Lady Railsplitters, Wingate seemed to shut down the LMU outside hitters in sets 3, 4, and 5 while coming all the way back to run the table with 25-17, 25-19, and 15-11 wins to take the match. The victory secured their #1 seed in this year's SAC tournament and handed the Lady Railsplitters back-to-back losses in league play for only the second time this year while suffering their second 5-set loss in a week's time. And on Saturday, with their pride hurt somewhat due to Friday evening's loss and the emotions of Senior Day on their minds, the Lady Railsplitters look to close out the regular season schedule against Catawba College. The last time the Lady Railsplitters played Catawba in Salisbury on October 13th, LMU came away with a 3-1 victory. On Saturday, however, the Indians had something else in mind, and they came out in the opening set and picked up right where the Dogs left off on Friday evening by handing the Lady Railsplitters a 25-20 setback. The second set started the same for both teams, Catawba dictating the tempo, but late in the match, LMU came from behind to eventually take a 25-21 win to even the match at a set apiece. That's where the tide turned for the Lady Railsplitters as they decided to send the Lady Railsplitters seniors out with a bang. LMU rolled over Catawba in the third set 25-10 before closing out the Indians in 4, 25-20. Senior Blair Fowler had a day to remember. The all-conference performer went out like a champion, notching a single-game match of 27 singles. Let me write that again. A single-match record of 27 kills, along with a .556 hitting percentage, to help her team finish the regular season with a 20-12 record and a 12-6 conference mark, while earning the number 3 seed in the upcoming conference tournament. After the match, we talked with Fowler about the big win.
Last night in the game, I don't know what I did, but I did something stupid. And so coming into the game, we didn't know if I was even going to be able to play, but my adrenaline took over and I didn't think about anything. Like, there's so many distractions to get distracted by, and I'm so proud of all of our team for being able to just play through it and play the game we love and play for fun.
The number 3 seed Lady Railsplitters will play number 6 seed Catawba for the third time this season in the quarterfinals of the 2012 Food Lion SAC Tournament, November 16th. That's Friday in Brevard, North Carolina. The event has given the Lady Railsplitters all week to prepare for their match, with the Indians, and when we talked with head coach Jenny Michael after Saturday's meeting with Catawba, she had no hesitation in her thoughts of what her team had to do to keep their postseason run alive.
We have the SAC tournament, and it's single elimination. So, you know, every night we're playing like it's our last match because it's a reality. It could be. You know, we're definitely just got to take it one match at a time. The young ladies have earned some time off. We have some injuries that we need to heal, and hopefully we can have a couple days to rest and recover so that way we can be full tilt when we come into competition on Friday.
Turning to women's basketball, on Friday evening, Roger Hodge and the Lincoln Memorial University Lady Railsplitters opened the 2012-2013 season against visiting Erskine College in the Holiday Inn SAC Conference Carolinas Challenge held in the Tex Turner Arena. The outing was the first for the LMU women since falling in exhibition play to the Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee State University on Tuesday evening in Murfreesboro by the final of 73-38. LMU senior forward Relissa Nelson had a big night, pumping in 21 points on 6 of 11 shooting, while junior newcomer Kalasia Green chipped in 12. Mariah Richardson led the Lady Railsplitters on the boards with 6 rebounds, and LMU captured a 9.71-62 win to open the season at 1-0. On Saturday evening, the Lady Railsplitters matched up with Coker College. Friday night, the Cobras chiseled out a season-opening win over Carson Newman to move to 1-0 on the year, and thus Saturday's matchup with the LMU women pitted the only 2 remaining unbeaten teams in the challenge. From the opening tip, Saturday's game with Coker was a seesaw battle for both teams, as both teams led throughout the first half numerous times. LMU took the narrow edge over the Cobras into the locker room, however, leading at the break 24-21. With the second half came more tight play, and again the two teams traded the lead numerous times before the Cobras overcame a 6-point LMU lead with 4:40 to play to tie the game at 51-all at the end of regulation. In overtime, the Lady Railsplitters led only once when Miranda Bodie hit a free throw to give LMU a 52-51 edge at the 4:44 mark. From there, it was Coker that held the lead, with the exception of a 59-all tie with 47 seconds to play. A jumper by the Cobras, Angie Lawrence, with 3 seconds on the clock, gave them the win in overtime to drop the Lady Railsplitters to 1-1 on the year. And then, of course, on Wednesday, the LMU Lady Railsplitters played host to Bryan College in a solo game played in the Tex Turner Arena and captured a 70-58 win over the Lions to improve to 2-1 on the season. Miranda Bodie led the LMU women in scoring with 15 points on 6 of 7 shooting from the floor. Sophomore guard Adina Musa chipped in another 13 points and led the Lady Railsplitters on the boards with 10 rebounds. Tuesday night, the LMU women play host to Winston-Salem State University in the Tex Turner Arena in their final home game before departing for Pensacola, Florida for the West Florida Holiday Classic on Thanksgiving weekend. And turning to men's basketball, Saturday night also marked the opening of the 2012-2013 season. LMU men's basketball season, of course, getting cranked up a couple of weeks ago against Florida State. The Railsplitters played host to much improved Ohio Midwestern University team with more than a week and a half behind them since that bout with the Seminoles of Florida State University. They gave them all they wanted with an 83-75 loss in exhibition play. The LMU men came out in Saturday's matchup with the Rams on fire as they took a commanding 18-point lead a little more than midway through the first half. After taking a 32-19 lead into the locker room at the intermission, the Railsplitters played cat and mouse with the Rams throughout much of the second half before pulling away late in the game to capture a 79-46 win in their season opener. LMU senior center Jake Troyley led the Railsplitters in scoring with 19 points on 7 of 16 shooting, while sophomore guard Lorenzo Ross chipped in 13 and senior Wally Jones added 11. Sophomore center Keenan Peterson led the Railsplitters on the boards with 9 rebounds. LMU's men improved to 1-0 on the year and will be looking to keep that trend going Friday evening when they play host to Bob Jones University. That'll be a 7 o'clock tip-off in the Tex Turner Arena, and it will be the only time this year the two teams will square off. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will be talking with Lincoln Memorial University head men's and women's soccer coach Helly O'Dana about women's soccer. Stay with us right here on the Railsplitter Athletics Report.
I will help families adopt children from around the world and in our own backyard.
I am teaching ethics to the next generation of lawyers.
I will make a difference for the underserved of this region.
I will be an advocate for my clients.
As a prosecutor, I fought for those who couldn't speak for themselves.
I'm a lawyer and professor.
I will be a lawyer.
I will be a lawyer.
I will be a lawyer.
I guess we'll take Morty.
Yes. Pick last. Ouch. A vault will put you back on top. It quenches and kicks. Incoming! Yeah! You're a super soda mercenary. Vault. Drinks like a soda, kicks like an energy drink. Get to it!
History comes alive at the Abraham Lincoln Library and Museum on the campus of Lincoln Memorial University in Harrogate, Tennessee. Located 60 miles north of Knoxville and 5 minutes from the entrance of Cumberland Gap National Historic Park, the museum is home of one of the largest privately held Lincoln collections in the country.
A place to learn and play. My museum includes interactive exhibits as well as special events and educational programs. For more information, go to www.lmunet.edu.
We represent the Coke brand. We would like to sue Coca-Cola Zero.
Would you say that we have a case?
For what?
For taste infringement.
We want to just sue them back to the Stone Age to send a message that they're tampering with really the flagship of the company.
It's one company. It's like you suing yourself.
Yeah.
But they're on a different part of our floor.
Da, 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 da.
Welcome back to the Railsplitter Athletics Report. You know, a couple of weeks ago, the Lincoln Memorial University women's soccer team closed out the 2012 fall season. And with that, the Lady Railsplitters fell short of their quest to go to the SAC Championship and on into the NCAA tournament. Helly O'Dana, head coach of the Lady Railsplitters, now joins us. And, Coach, this is a team that really, I thought, had a lot of potential when the season began, but as happened so many times, we saw that injury bug plague us early in the year, and that, as a result, wound up costing us to do some things and ultimately a few victories that we may have otherwise had.
Well, like we always do, we played a tough schedule. And if you look throughout the year, you can slice some midpoints and see the before and after in the injuries. Up to the midpoint of the season, we were top 2 in the conference. We were top 10 in the region, number 9 in the region. We had beaten GSC teams, Peach Belt teams, you know, some of the conference teams. It is what it is. We had some injuries, and if you really even just look at the starters, we started the year with one starter out. You know, we had a player that had a red shirt, and then on the second game of the year, we lose another starter for the year. Then on the midpoint of the season, if I told you that I lost 5 more. So we were 7 starters out, and you just gotta love freshmen. You gotta love players that are eager to feel, you know, take the opportunity. I mean, when a door closes, another door opens, and our freshmen stepped up big time, you know. And some of them got. We've had these end of the year meetings with them, and I always tell them, hey, your experience you need to cherish because it was not the true freshman experience. You know, I mean, most freshmen in most teams take a little while to get some more playing time, and we've had a boatload of them that got a lot of playing time. So the good news is they're ready to move on, and so they're no longer freshmen already.
When you break down your team, Coach, and look at it in a realistic standpoint of freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors, you've had huge recruiting classes over the last 2 or 3 years, and as a result, you only had one senior this year. So for the most part, and I'm making no excuses, folks, this is a relatively young LMU women's soccer team.
It's the youngest team in the conference. Even if you had all the freshmen, I'm sorry, all the starters out, we would be starting all but 2 underclassmen. And there were times we were starting 9 freshmen. But it's not something that I planned for. I mean, sometimes it's so circumstantial. You have kids that either graduated early, or we've dealt with some tricky majors like nursing, and that sometimes they end up playing just 3 years. Opportunity came to bring some very talented players in the past 2 years. And we probably let the roster grow a little bigger than we usually have carried. And this year we had 28 players. But I'm very, very happy with the talent, and makes my life a little easier as far as recruiting this year, because like you mentioned, we had only one senior. So it really put us on our focus on developing the existing players.
When you recruit, Coach, I know that you don't limit your recruiting just in state or just in the region. You go all over the country to get your recruits. A lot of coaches do that these days, whether it be Tusculum or Carson Newman or schools across the country or throughout our region. How much do you as a head coach and as a recruiting coach compete with schools like Tusculum and Carson Newman for the same athlete?
Yeah, I mean, these are very good programs, very good schools. There are so many events throughout the year. I'm talking about club events. That's where we do most of our recruiting. You do some junior college and some international. Women's soccer anymore. The level of soccer in the U.S. is so strong that you almost the majority is American. But yeah, we're competing for the same kids. We're competing, especially the top players. And you just mentioned they go across borders, so it's not like Tusculum in Tennessee and Lenore Running in North Carolina. It's all of them in all states, Luckily, fortunately, we have a very good product to sell. I mean, not only the school, the quality of our academics. I'm sure I cannot be judged as being out of line when I say we're among the best in the conference. And the types of programs that we offer at LMU that other schools in the conference don't, that attract especially the women, the sciences and so on and so forth. And really, for me being a dual coach, I know the differences as far as the way, the things that the men put as important in their recruitment, and the women. And for the women, the relationships, the harmony of the team, and the family atmosphere, and just the types of people that we have in the program is so important that when they step on campus, I don't care if they're from Maryland, Michigan, and we've had guys from all over, they feel at home, and that's credit to these young ladies. They're awesome to work with.
When you talk to administrators at the various universities now, they're constantly pounding student retention. How do you hold the athlete? Okay, you as a coach have a team in which has only one senior. You graduate one player, so essentially you're going to have everybody returning, or at least you hope you will be. How do you then gauge what you need? Because you really have no serious losses. You may have 1 or 2 losses, but how do you gauge what you need and then go out and get that and bring that back in? Because if you don't have any kids leaving, probably you don't have a whole lot of money to work with.
Well, it's not necessarily that in itself. It's not the deciding factor, the money part, But the tricky part is, in the women's soccer scenario, we don't recruit for the upcoming year. You gotta have the vision to go 1 year down the line, because between Division I and Division II programs mostly, the competitiveness and how, credit to the young recruits that they're so organized. They start contacting schools and making themselves, quote unquote, recruitable so early that if I wait to start now my 2013 recruiting, I don't have a good pool to deal with. So we've been done with recruiting for the women for quite a while. We're half done for 2014. So that's the tricky part. You need to really be proactive, just both in recruitment and also in the vision of who do I lose and what will be the needs for the team. But on any given year, you always have a little room for something in the last minutes. And this year in particular, we did very well defensively. Our defense was the top 3 in the conference. But our offense struggled a little bit, not because of lack of talent. We had a ton of talent. And we created a ton of opportunities to score. But it is what it is. We struggle a little bit with putting the ball in the back of the net. So you mentioned that we graduated 1, and we're bringing 4. So, we gave ourselves a little room to add a little more scoring power to the team, hopefully. But I am very excited with the returning players.
Okay, so with that in mind, you know what you're getting in your returning players, you know what you're recruiting and have already recruited for next year in your newcomers. What does this team then have to do in order to be where I think you want them to be and where they want to be a year from now?
Well, we had the end of the year meetings and we discussed both with the team and with each player. We're almost done with the individual meetings, but the first and foremost thing is we need to put pressure on ourselves. The honeymoon is over. And the ladies know, and it's almost unfair because there's a lot of freshmen this year, but doesn't matter. We've had that excuse, reason, whatever you want to call it, that we were young. All right, now next year we have a lot of juniors. So we need to put pressure on ourselves. Secondly, we need to learn the lessons that we could have this past 2 years. From details, this year we went 3-4-2 in the conference. 3 games went overtime. Didn't win any of those 3 games. And if you win one of those 3 games, we're 4th place in the conference. We win 2, we're 3rd place in the conference. We win all 3 of them, we're turning in what the men turn in, and we were that close. So we need to learn the lessons. Each game was a particular case. No late breakdowns with defense, or no easy opportunities to score missed, or little things that now it's time to apply what we learned in the past 2 years. I'm talking about 2013. And the last thing is we need to crank it up as coaching staff too. We're going to push them harder athletically, fitness, and focus on functional training for forwards, whatever it takes that we can score more. But it's much easier when you have the human talents, and we do. The potential for this team. Each position that we have on the field has 3 clear, capable players that could be starting for most of the teams in the conference. So it puts pressure on us too to be the good stewards of it and know when to put which players, know what formation to maximize our strength and whatnot. But all of these things coming together this spring will make us a much better team next year.
Coach, we got probably around a minute to go in the show or in this segment. That all being said, now you're going to probably, in addition to your recruiting, you're going to embark on your indoor soccer schedule for the spring season and the fall season, obviously. Futsal is what you refer to it as, and it's a unique sport in and of itself. What's that going to be like? Again, we've got about 45 seconds.
Yeah, it's funny. We have all these players that come from areas that don't play futsal, so that's going to be a challenge for them. But futsal brings quickness, think quickly in tight spaces and solve how am I going to get out on a tight space, and goals. So that's all we need.
Well, Coach, hey, we're looking forward to the 2013 season. I have this feeling that all these returning kids are only going to bode well for Lincoln Memorial University. They already know the system. They'll already know the work ethic they have to have. They're going to have to step it up a notch. The new kids will come in, and I think that's going to add a new spice and a new flavor to the program. But we're looking forward to the 2013 season and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, Haley O'Dana, head coach of the Lincoln Memorial University Lady Railsplitter soccer team, and we will talk more with him as the season progresses about recruiting and so forth. But right now we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll look at the week ahead in Lincoln Memorial University Athletics. Stay with us.
Nestled at the foot of the Cumberland Gap, Lincoln Memorial University honors the vision and spirit of Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln's values are perfectly in sync with the modern educational experience at LMU. Our students find personal attention is a way of life and a way to success. If Lincoln Memorial University fits your vision of college, visit our website at lmunet.edu for more information.
SIGMON Communications is your local radio and television stations bringing your local information, local news, and the best music from yesterday and today. SIGMON Communications was established in 1987 on the campus of Lincoln Memorial University. Since then, we have been involved in community events and other projects. SIGMON Communications is not only your local radio and television stations, but we are a learning facility aimed at educating students in the field of broadcast communications. SIGMON Communications, not just the great building with satellites that sits on the hill.
We're now MediaStream, bringing home to you more and more improvements. As your hometown team, we're dedicated to bringing our friends and neighbors more service upgrades than ever before. Always available 24/7 customer service and technical support. 30-day money-back guarantee on services. Improved bundles that will save you money. Get ready to do more of the things you love with the people you love and with savings you'll love. Call 1-800-392-2662 for details. MediaStream, bringing it home to you.
Bringing it home to you.
Welcome back to the show. While soccer is closed out for the 2012 season, there's still a lot going on here on the LMU campus and, of course, beyond in terms of LMU athletic teams competing in conference play and hopefully NCAA regional play. In fact, it starts Friday night. The Lady Railsplitter volleyball team in the 2012 Food Lion South Atlantic Conference Tournament. That'll be held this year in Brevard, North Carolina. The Lady Railsplitters representing the number 3 seed in the tournament. And in the quarterfinal round action, they will play Catawba College for the 3rd time this year, I might add. Now that's going to be an interesting matchup because LMU has won that 3-1 in the last 2 meetings. It's going to be hard for Jenny Michael and her squad to knock off the Indians one more time. LMU basketball team in action on Friday night. Of course, they'll play Bob Jones University, 7 o'clock tip-off in the Tex Turner, and that'll be a solo game. We hope that you come out and show your support for Josh Schertz and his team. For the Lady Railsplitters, they'll wait until Tuesday night to play again. They'll actually host Winston-Salem State at home in the Tex Turner. That also is a 7 o'clock tip-off, and a solo game in the Tex Turner be carried via streaming video on the LMU Athletics website and, of course, on local cable throughout the area. LMU men on Tuesday night in Nashville, Tennessee. They're down at Trevecca Nazarene University. I'll be with the Railsplitters down there as I'll have the call. LMU taking on Trevecca, 7 o'clock tip-off. That's Eastern time, by the way, and that'll be audio only on the LMU Athletics website. Adam Haley will have the call of Lady Railsplitter basketball on the LMU Sports Network. That's all the time we have. Until next week, good night, everybody.